Hi, I'm hoping you can all hear me. My name's Charlotte Podleska and I work for Conference Leeds. And I want to talk to you about how you can experience exceptional here in Leeds. So Leeds is always, we've built on our rich industrial heritage here in the city. Um, we have four leading universities, as well as some leading academic institutions. So, from the likes of the University of Leeds all the way through to Leeds Conservatoire, um, which specialise in music and the performing arts. Um, we absolutely love our sports here in Leeds. So we have everything from Leeds United all the way through to Leeds Rhinos rugby league team. We are the only city outside of London to have hosted the Grand Depart in 2014, which is part of the Tour de France. And then we've hosted international cricket and the Cricket World Cup, and we'll be hosting again some of the matches for the Rugby League World Cup later this year. In terms of Leeds as a conferencing destination, we are very much a leading destination in the UK. We are fifth in terms of number of meetings and events that happen here in the UK, as reported by BMIS. And in 2020, we won the Best Events Destination in the CNIT Awards. Leeds is very much at the heart of the UK. So as you can see there, pretty much smack bang in the middle of the UK. And in terms of access through from the rest of the country, it's just over 10 minutes, just over 2 hours from London by train. And we do have our own airport, which is Leeds Bradford Airport, which is just a 20-minute journey into the city centre. That covers 70 destinations across 25 countries, as well as other UK destinations. And in terms of international travel into the city, we have three hub airports. They are Amsterdam and Barcelona, and then Dublin, which has great links to the US. Leeds has always been known for its innovation, both past and present. So oxygen as a gas was first discovered here in Leeds in 1773 by Joseph Priestley, and X-ray was first demonstrated at the University of Leeds by William Bragg. And Leeds is home to a British favourite, Marks and Spencers. They had their first penny bazaar in Kirkgate Market, which is Europe's largest covered market, and they actually still have their little, well, not their little store, but their store there, so you can actually go and visit that as part of some of the heritage tours here in the city. We have a number of key sector strengths here in the city, so still driving that innovation here across the UK and internationally today. In terms of those key sectors, we have health and healthcare innovation. So we have 4 of the 5 NHS national bodies here in Leeds, including NHS England, which is one of the largest, which is actually the world's largest single health commissioner. We also have the world's largest healthcare data platforms, including NHS Database and the NHS Spine. And we have leading life sciences clusters here in Yorkshire. We are one of the UK's leading centres for financial and professional services. So we have over 30 national and international banks in the city, and we are the fastest growing legal sector. Advanced manufacturing, we have a global reputation, both across research and development as well as product development. And we're very much in the heart of the UK's creative industries sector. So we are now home to Channel 4's new national headquarters. And over the last few years, we've seen a number of filming opportunities coming into Leeds and the wider area. For example, just last week, we were rubbing shoulders with the likes of Samuel L. Jackson, who was filming one of the new Marvel film installations in the city. Um, and underpinning all of that is sort of digital technology. So Leeds is world leading in terms of data and data analytics, and that's led into a number of those sectors. So we are now leading in fintech, health tech, education tech, as well as legal tech. And I just wanted to talk to you a little bit, obviously, why we're here, to talk to you about sort of our venues and accommodation providers here in the city. So you can see there we have a really wide breadth of venues and hotels, and they are our sort of conferencing prospects. So where we are slightly different to some of the other UK cities, not having sort of a convention centre in the city, a number of our leading cultural organisations, academic institutions actually are our venues. And in terms of accommodation, we have everything from your city UK and international brands such as the Hilton, Marriott, Crown Plazas. We also have a number of great boutique hotels in Leeds as well. And I just wanted to talk to you about a few of that sort of breadth of unique venues in Leeds. So, for example, we have Leeds Town Hall, which is very much a landmark building here in Leeds. It showcases that real Victorian architecture and was actually opened by Queen Victoria. It is actually closed at the moment and will be closed until 2024, when it will reopen, having had a huge refurbishment across all areas, and they will actually open with some new event spaces as well, which is great for the Leeds products. The Royal Armouries Museum is our national museum of arms and armour, and it's actually has Europe's largest collection of arms and armour. They have their own conferencing and events facility, which is New Dock Hall and can cater for up to 1,250. And it's based in Leeds Dock, which, as you can see, is surrounded by waterfront. And you can actually take one of the Leeds water taxis from the south entrance of Leeds train station right to the doorstep of the Armouries Museum. One of the newer venues to come online in the city is the Terrace. It's very much, as you can see from that image, bringing the outside in. So their two larger event spaces have floor to ceiling windows and direct access out to the terrace. So it's great for those refreshment breaks, to get some fresh air for delegates without losing them to the wider sort of city area. We also have Nexus, which is part of the University of Leeds campus. It's a great venue for gaining access to the Innovation District and the university itself. So not only do they have really great conferencing facilities, including a 120 theatre auditorium, but they have a brilliant business reception area, which is great for drinks receptions and sort of welcome speeches and welcome events. Headingley Stadium, which is based in Headingley, just 10 minutes out of the city centre, has their banqueting suite can take 500 for dinner, and a real USP for them is they are actually the only banqueting suite where you have views over two international stadia. So on one side you can see Yorkshire County Cricket's cricket pitch, and then on the other side you can see an international rugby pitch. And finally, Horizon, which is actually owned by the NHS Confederation. They're not for profit, so all of the proceeds from their events go back into the NHS. And from that image there, you can see their virtual and hybrid studio. So they were one of the first venues in Leeds to really be at the forefront of that technology. And it's something that you can continue to use for events going forwards. In terms of Leeds, we are set in the beautiful county of Yorkshire, what we call God's own county. So Leeds is surrounded by countryside, and you literally have three national parks just half an hour outside of the city centre, from the north, south, and east and west. Leeds has a fantastic food and drink scene. We are, we're home to Yorkshire's tea, Northern Monk for those that like their craft beers, and no Sunday roast is complete without the Yorkshire pudding. But from a Leeds perspective, we have everything from high-end Michelin-starred restaurants all the way through to independent and street food vendors. We do have a huge and a thriving independent food and drink scene here in Leeds. It's not a day goes by where we don't see another sort of pop-up coming out of Leeds Trinity Kitchen, for example, or a new craft ale brewery opening up in and around the city. And that means that from an experiences point of view, you can take beer tours across a number of the craft ale and traditional breweries here in Leeds and across Yorkshire. And we do have the International Beer Festival, which takes place in September every year. So something that you could always tag on to the end of an event. And we have some wonderful food tours which take in both high-end dining and also those independent food venues. And you can also do things like cooking experiences at Ready Steady Bake, or you can even learn to make the perfect Yorkshire pudding at Leeds Cookery School. In terms of arts and culture, we have over 16 museums and galleries here in Leeds, home to the Henry Moore Institute, which you can see a picture of there on screen. And we're also home to Northern Ballet and Opera North. And they are very much look at sort of pushing the arts forwards in terms of sort of that music and dance scene. We have wonderful Victorian architecture here in the city. When I do familiarisation trips in the city, clients often comment on how beautiful the city centre is. It's quite unusual to say that about a city centre, but the Victorian arcades here in the city, which is where a lot of our boutique shopping is, are just beautiful. And if you look up, the Victoria Arcade has the largest piece of art on display. I mentioned that we are surrounded by the Yorkshire countryside, and you can take private tours out to visit farms, to visit Wensleydale cheese factory, and go hiking and explore what the national parks have to offer. And we have wonderful shopping and nightlife here. You can take in everything from a comedy show to the key sort of comedians or artists at First Direct Arena. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's new and what's coming into Leeds. So across our hotel and event products here in Leeds, we've seen a huge investment over the last 2 years. So two of our key sort of conferencing hotels, the Queen's Hotel, which sits right on Leeds train station, have undergone a £16 million refurbishment across all areas, including the conferencing and bedrooms facilities there. So their conferencing facilities can take 500 for a conference, and they have 14 different meeting and event rooms. And the Marriott Hotel, it's very much now the sort of key Marriott within the north of England. And they again have had a huge refurbishment across not only their public areas, but their conferencing and bedrooms as well. In terms of new openings and offerings in the city, we, as I said before about the food and drink scene here in the city, we actually have a new offering which is called Chow Down. It takes place from April through to September at Temple Arches. You can see a picture there at the bottom of the screen, and it really is a destination for events, outdoor dining, and a real social scene for delegates during downtime or as part of the event. We have a new Roxy Lanes opening here in Leeds, where you can actually take in ice curling and try that for the first time. As well as new restaurants, as I said, opening pretty much on a daily basis here in the city. And then coming soon in 2023, we will be hosting a year of culture here in Leeds. It's called Leeds 2023, and we will see 12 events, huge events taking place throughout the year with international, national, and local artists and communities taking place. And I really would encourage you to come and visit the city over the next couple of years as we lead up to and take part in the Year of Culture, because it's a great way to experience everything that Leeds has to offer. Leeds is very much a sustainable city, as many of the other UK cities are. We've been working on making ourselves carbon neutral, and we have pledged that we will be carbon neutral by 2030. And as the Conference Bureau for Leeds, we are very much supporting that pledge, and we're helping our venues and hotels to gain their green accreditations and implement their strategies for sustainability. But I just wanted to highlight a few key projects and accolades that Leeds has. Leeds is a fair trade city, and next year we will be hosting the International Fair Trade Symposium here in Leeds. We have our own climate commission in the city. It was the UK's first climate commission, and they are an independent body that sit to make recommendations for both for policy and actions, physical actions, for both the public and private sector. And then Leeds City Council and key holders have committed to contribute to the White Rose forest, planting over 50 hectares of plants and trees every year. And that image you can see on screen is the Leeds Recyclables and Renewals sort of centre. And you can see there's actually a growing garden up the side of the wall. In terms of the team, as I said, we are Conference Leeds and Visit Leeds. We are the visitor economy sector. Visitor economy team for Leeds City Council. So we sit as part of Leeds City Council, and we work with every single venue across the whole of Leeds and West Yorkshire and North Yorkshire. So we have real access to those venues, and we have incredible knowledge of not only the venues but the city itself and the wider region. Everything we do in terms of venue finding and accommodation sourcing is free of charge, and we can be that sort of soundboard. As I said, because we're impartial, we will be completely honest with you. If we don't think a venue is right, we will tell you, but also if we think that you should be in a certain area because it sits better for access to key stakeholders, for example, we will tell you that too. And we also work with with PCOs to be able to offer further services such as creating websites and helping with delegate registration and things like that. So thank you very much for listening to me. I just wanted to highlight my contact details there, but also our LinkedIn page. It's where we keep both stakeholders and industry up to date with everything that's happening in Leeds from a visitor economy perspective. So thank you very much.